So, if you've watched the last video I've just put out, you've seen that the new project car is the Audi TT. Whilst that is the project car, that isn't the whole truth to the upcoming content that's going to be posted to YouTube. So I posted on my stories on Instagram, you might have seen, saying that I really need to pull my finger out and buy a new project vehicle. I had a few messages from a few different people, but there's one in particular that I got really excited about. And it's a car I've wanted to own for quite a long time. Never sort of been in a position to be able to have one. It came up for good money, and I thought, why not? So the TT was part of the deal with the other vehicle, which I will reveal in a moment. So the TT is going to be its own little series, and we'll be sorting that out and selling that on when that's done. But this other vehicle is going to be a longer project, and I can't see it going anywhere when it's done, because I've wanted to own this car here for a long time. So, I suppose I better show you what it is. Let's go. Yes, that is right. I have bought myself a 1983 Volkswagen Golf GTI Mark 1. What was I thinking? It's, like I say, it was one of them cars that's always been on my list. Someone hit me up in DMs and said they've got this car that they wanted to sell on as they're thinking of having a bit of a lifestyle change or a life change. Would I be interested? So yeah, took a drive up to have a look at it, and yeah, pretty bought it there and then. So massive thank you for Darren for selling me the cars, because it was both the cars that came as a package deal. The idea was he was going to take the engine and running gear out of the TT to put them in the Golf. I'm not going to be doing that. I want to try and keep some of the character of an old car in there. The TT is just going to be getting built and sold on, fixed up and sold on. But this is going to be the long-term project. But I know it was a massive decision to make, Darren, and it wasn't an easy one. You were a bit upset when the cars were going, which was totally understandable. But thank you so much for selling me the cars. Hopefully I can do them justice. So, now she's been revealed, shall we go and have a look round and see how bad it is? Because it isn't quite as good as I thought. So originally the plan with the car was going to be to get it back on the road, get it MOT, get a few bits sorted out and drive it until the real bad weather hit, and then get it in and really start getting into it. Having started poking and prodding the car, I don't think that's going to be possible. So I think what's going to be happening is total strip down, bare shell, get the shell blasted, get it back, and then start a rebuild. Really, we're going to rebuild the car. Now this is not going to be a quick series. This isn't going to be a sort of 3 month and it's done thing. This is probably going to take a year, if not longer. So it's going to be a big project. I'm hoping to detail as much of it as I can while I'm doing it. But yeah, this is going to be quite a big project. So let's go and show you around the car, show you what we've found and explain a bit about it. So first thing to notice is that the engine in the car isn't the original engine. I've got the original engine over there, that did come with the car, but that is not in a good condition. It need rebuild and everything. So Darren's fitted what I believe is the EV code engine out of an early Mark II Golf, which has still got all the mechanical fuel injection and everything. Apparently it goes like stink, although the car has been sat, unfortunately, outside for about 5 years. So it's going to take a bit to get this back running, but I mean, taking the cap off, it's got oil in it, it looks quite nice inside, it doesn't look too bad. First thing I'll do is I'll get a ratchet on the crank pulley, see if it's all free. The battery for it's on charge in there. So I think first thing I'm going to do is test it's free, pull the fuel line off, the fuel line in from the pump, if you like, and try and get some fuel in, and try and get it running and see if it actually runs. But yeah, it's not the original engine, and I think from talking to Darren, I'm just going to keep this one in it. Not keep it in, but it will come out, get sorted out and go back in, as it's apparently a better unit than what was in it originally. So, she's currently sporting a lovely set of genuine fake BBS split wheels, 15-inch wheels, which they're fake, but these sort of wheels fit this car so well. So these will probably be coming off, and we'll try and get hold of a genuine set if we can, although they are many pounds. But we'll see what we can get. Wheels is the last of my worries at the minute. We've got little bits of rust all over the place. It'd be interesting to get these plastic arch covers off and see what's behind there, what's in the metal. It isn't too bad. There's places, my screwdriver went through up on the wing. A bit of rust sort of on the arches, which is more sort of surface than in the metal. This unfortunately isn't, that is in the metal and that's gone through just there. There's a bit on the windscreen scuttle as well, up there, which hopefully is repairable. The doors seem pretty solid from what I've played with and had a fiddle with on the bottom of them. They seem pretty good. The sills seem okay, which is quite good. There's a bit of something going on up here. Now this to me looks as though it's had some form of a panel or a part of a panel in here. So when that's back to metal, we'll be able to investigate that a bit more. Boot doesn't look too bad, although I did notice that the headline is coming down. There's a bit of gaffer tape here, and this grommet for the wiring here isn't in the hole. So water's been getting in there, and God only knows where that has gone and what damage it's done. I have also managed to place my finger through this piece already, which is delightful. So hopefully that won't be too difficult to replace. There's another bit here which wasn't this bad when I looked at the car, but I've been poking and prodding it and that has now gone all the way through. So that is definitely going to need addressing. Now the reason it's not got the fuel filler in it, filler neck, is because it was fitted with a Rip Speed horrible 90s filler cap, which to be fitted they've had to drill out the 3 holes in the body. So now when you go to fit the original one back on, the bolts go through. So the filler neck is in the boot, which will obviously have to be reinstated, but it shouldn't be too big a job to sort out. We'll probably just have to weld the holes up and re-drill them. Obviously I've not been underneath the car yet, so I don't know what the underneath is like. I will be getting it jacked up on axle stands and get under it to see what it's like. We've got this delightful little bit to sort out on the roof, which as you can see, I mean, these sunroofs I imagine are prone to leaking. There's witness smart, well I think there's silicone all over it where someone's obviously tried to silicone it. It was gaffer taped up, which was the right thing for him to do to try and stop the water getting in. And then yeah, we're left with this delightful hole. But obviously when it's blasted, we'll see a bit more as how far we need to go with the roof swap, which funnily enough I've got a roof cut which came with the car. So this has been cut on all 6 pillars, if you like, and we'll be able to take a good roof cut out of that to make this roof good again, which is lovely. So coming to the inside, we've obviously got mould everywhere, which will be from the sunroof and from the back end where water's been getting in. Dash is sort of bits all over the place, in and out. Seats are mouldy, but we've got quite a few bits come with the car. So in the back we've got another driver's seat, which is for the mechanism on the bottom, because apparently the driver's seat must have had a bucket seat fitted at some point, so someone's messed around with all of that. And we've got as well, we've got some standard suspension with 40mm lowering springs on, apparently, because it's on coilovers at the minute that are apparently not the best. What looks like discs and pads. We've got a new carpet. I've got a new headliner as well, which come with the car, which obviously will not be going anywhere near it anytime soon. So, is the car worse than I thought it was when I first looked at it? Yes, it is worse than I thought it was when I first looked at it. Was it always going to be worse than when I first looked at it? Yeah, it was. It was parked on a drive. It's been there for 5 years. It was parked up against the fence. I couldn't get around it properly. I couldn't get underneath it. But I think for the money I've paid for the 2 cars, I wouldn't say I'm winning, but for what I paid for this, I don't think I got a bad deal. I think my plan with the car for the rest of this episode, I think, is going to be, let's just get all the inside cleared out and see what we're working with inside. We might whip the seats out and get the carpet out so we can have a bit of a poke with a screwdriver on the floor, just to see how bad the floor is. But there isn't really much more to be said, I don't think. I am planning on doing a sort of restoration series with this car. And like I've said, how long that's going to take is anyone's guess. I really don't know. First thing I need to do is try and sort somewhere out that's better than the stables for this to sit, that isn't damp, because it's going to be blasted. It will be primed, but there will be sort of exposed metal while I'm working on it. So yeah, I need to be somewhere that's not damp. But let's get the GoPro set up and make a start clearing the inside out. So now I've got it stripped out, is it as bad as first thought? To be honest, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it may look worse from underneath, but up here I've gone round for a poke. There's a bit down here that don't look too good. We've gone through over here in a few places. The spare wheel well's gone through quite a lot of places, but that's always going to happen. This bracket for the wiper bottle, that's completely disappeared. Completely disappeared. And I've got a funny feeling it's from this grommet and the water getting in. But on first look, I don't want to say it isn't as bad as I thought it was, but it isn't as bad as I thought it was. It needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work. But I don't think it's too far gone. So then, that is the car so far. We can't really see anything. I just wanted to, for peace of mind, to get the interior out, just see it wasn't a massive hole in the floor. Doing that hasn't really put my mind at ease until I get under it, so it's probably a bit of a waste of time, but I feel a little bit better for having done it. I'm going to chuck the driver's seat back in, because I want to get it running, to move it out of here and move it about if I need to, temporarily. And to know that the engine runs as well, which would always be nice. Have I ever restored a car before? No. Do I really know what I'm doing? No, not really. But hopefully it'll be a good series and a very, very sharp learning curve for me. So we shall see how this one goes. But I think we'll leave this one here for now. Thank you ever so much for watching. The last series, or if you're new, this series that's just starting, go back and watch the last one because it was apparently quite good. But yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. I imagine I'm going to get quite a lot of comments on this. Let me know how you feel about the car, the project, and let me know what you think of me trying to sort of restore it. There's a lot of metal work got to be involved. And I've got very, very basic welding skills, but hopefully I'll be able to hone them on this. But like I say, I'm not rushing it. This is going to be a long, long project. And yeah, we'll see how it turns out. So thank you very much. Until next time, enjoy.